Hello, good evening, good day, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And thank you very much indeed for joining the Black Belt Academy of Surgical Skills. My name is David O'Regan. I'm a cardiac surgeon in Yorkshire, in the United Kingdom. I'm the director of the Faculty of Surgical Trainers for the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh, and I'm a visiting professor at Imperial College, London. I want to say thank you to the 3,100 followers across the globe. Thank you for following the Black Belt Academy. Thank you for sending me your messages and pictures. And thank you too for the 2,355 likes. Let's keep the movement going. At the weekend, I had to self-isolate because I came back as PCR positive with COVID, although I was entirely asymptomatic, which meant that my course, Par Excellence, that was running in Hull, had to be delivered remotely. And the remote delivery is only possible because I have this fabulous camera from Edwards Life Sciences with the help of Wet Lab and a Yeti microphone. It meant that I could tune in and direct the course remotely and participate, get questions and feedback. And this has given a whole new opportunity to the Black Belt Academy of Surgical Skills. And I'm really excited because a colleague from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India, Dr. Krunal Soni, who's an orthopedic surgeon, who actually did his Masters in Surgery in Dundee in Scotland, contacted me because he's passionate about postgraduate and undergraduate training, and he wanted to adopt the Black Belt Academy syllabus. I'm delighted, Krunal, that you're joining as a sensei. Your name will be on the website, and I look forward to working with you and establishing the Black Belt Academy of Surgical Skills throughout India. And if anybody else would like to set up a local Black Belt Academy, please get in touch, because we now can direct and help facilitate remotely and encourage you to hone your surgical skills. I've been dipping in to the Book of Five Rings. This is the text by Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai warrior of 1643. Focus of the eyes in martial arts. The eyes are to be focused in such a way as to maximize the range and breadth of vision. Observation and perception are two separate things. The observing eye is stronger, the perceiving eye is weaker. A specialty of martial arts is to see that which is far away closely, and to see that which is nearby from a distance. In martial arts, it's important to be aware of opponent's swords, yet not to look at the opponent's swords at all. This takes work. And as I reflected on this and the use of the assistant and thinking of swords and scalpels, the use of the assistant is immeasurable. Firstly, on stepping on either side of the table, you get two different perspectives. In cardiac surgery, in cardiology, when looking at coronary vessels, they talk about a left anterior oblique and a right anterior oblique, as the patient lies on the table, giving you two 90-degree perspectives. And your assistant is there because at one view that looks like a solid block, but turn it 90 degrees and you see it's a cylinder. And that two perspectives is vital in surgery, and it's vital as part of the partnership and working in surgery. But when you think about it, those partnerships in surgery are echoed right across sport in general. When you think of the Olympic success of Torvill and Dean in the ice skating championships, and think of dancing and dance partners, and the movement and the synchrony and harmonization, between the lead and the follower. But that extends into sport as well. Kevin Keegan and John Chossock, English football players, were renowned as the Batman and Robin of football. Kevin Keegan being 5'8" and John Chossock being above 6 foot. In cricket, Gordon Greenidge and Desmond Hayes of West Indies as a batting partnership realised more than 6,000 runs. Martina Navratilova and Pam Shriver are renowned as the best women's double team ever. But it goes beyond that. If we think of Formula One, yes, the driver's in the car, but the relationship with the mechanic is of paramount importance. So Michael Schumacher relied on Ross Brawn. Lewis Hamilton, and I wish him well for the final race, relies on Peter Bonington, because when he gets out the car, he immediately talks to his engineer. And in golf, the caddy is just as important as the golfer because of their knowledge of the range, the conditions, and the distances. And that relationship is important. And the relationship between the surgeon and the assistant is likewise extremely important. You cannot do surgery by yourself. You need your assistant, and that assistant deserves respect. And in every circumstance, any microaggressions or any disrespect can completely ruin the delivery of the surgery. So my assistant this evening is me. The surgeon is my son. Alistair, come and join me. And you may well notice that when Alistair first started helping, he was shorter than me. This evening we've had a laugh because he's standing on the operative side and found that his head was touching the lampshade and the light. And for safety reasons, therefore we've had to turn off the main light, remove the light bulb and the lampshade so he can stand as the assistant, as a surgeon. The important thing is, as we've described at the very beginning, is that as he continues to grow, as the operative surgeon standing taller than me and in need of getting his arms in a functional position, I, as the assistant, will now have to stand on a stool so we both can be working at a functional level. So we just wanted to demonstrate the movement around the table and then the principles of the hand movement when operating. And we're going to put this elastic tape around each other. Pick up the other side up. Okay, and bring it down to your waist. And we've got some spaces here. And then we'll use this around the operative field so you can see that we're moving. So essentially, Alistair, whichever way you want to move, I got to move opposite. All right? If you want to move the other way, then I got to move opposite. See, the operative field is in the center here, and my shoulders are always parallel. Why this is important, we rehearse this in karate. So as we're standing here, if I do an oizuki, okay, and you do the same. And we rehearse these Kion drills in karate all the time as practicing movement. These are choreographed and deliberately staged to enable you to coordinate your forward punches, reverse punches, and respective blocks. The same movement is, to be honest, required in surgery as well. So we're going to bring you over the top, okay? And I'm going to move the camera and show you the operative field. I am the assistant. And Alistair, put your hands in. And Alistair is going to operate with your hands in the middle. And my hands should be on the outside. Keep your hands on the inside. Whichever way he moves, my hands should not be across the inside. And just make sure that's the right way around. So I'm coming in as an assistant, Alice is operating, and my hands are always on the outside. I do not reach across the midline, ever. I certainly do not cross my hands, and I don't interfere with what's happening within the operative field, because that is Alistair's space. The other space that I should point out is to Alistair's right hand, where he's operating. That's where you'll be picking up sharp objects, and the scrub nurse will be passing needles. So imagine that's the landing and takeoff quadrant. There, here. That's where all the sharp objects are moving. I do not want to put my hands anywhere in this quadrant over the side of the table. So we're going to do a bit of operating. And on the menu tonight, I have a number of things. And I am going to assist Alistair. Now, Alistair, you were dissecting last night, and you were dissecting a salmon eye. What did that feel like?
Well, it was quite difficult getting the cornea off. It was pleasant.
So what did the knife feel like?
Well, I'm sure it was just made to it's awfully slippery with I forget what it's called now.
The vitreous humour.
Vitreous humour.
Vitreous humour. And it got very slippery. But did you have to press hard with a knife?
No, not at all.
Okie dokie. So what I want you to do here is I want you to try and dissect the skin off. And I am going to hold the skin and demonstrate why the assistant is important. So good assistants make good surgeons. And a good surgeon, just bring this further down on the waist so we can demonstrate how we're moving, will actually demonstrate the various planes to the operating surgeon. So Al, pick up your knife, and I want you to stroke your knife along that plane there. Just stroke it, yeah, that's it, very good. And as a good assistant, okay, you can hold that bit, yeah, and I am going to hold this bit, and you're going to stroke your knife along, keep your knife parallel to that edge, not into cutting, just keep the blade, turn the blade up, and stroke it along that edge. That's it. As if you're using the knife as a broad blade brush. And what I'm demonstrating here is that even for somebody who's never operated, come down this plane, operated before, as an assistant, I can actually, you holding opposite me, okay, as an assistant, and let's see if we can brush that tissue off there. Okay, come this way. I'm holding the tissues up to enable the surgeon to develop the plane. And note that I'm pulling the tissues up and out, and my hands are not within the operative field. And it's a dynamic process of anticipating where Alice is going to move and what he's going to do. Okay, and I come down this side. And it's the tension, the combined working tension between me holding the skin, Alistair holding, and developing the plane that is important. It becomes a very much a dynamic process. Come down this side here. Marvellous. And you can see I can actually help as a surgeon by using my forceps to point out and to develop planes. And as long as I'm holding the planes, the tissue up, carry on, we're making good progress. Good. So we'll come back to that. Do you want to pop the knife down? Now I want you to use your scissors. We're going to turn this over, get the scissors, and let's see if we can actually develop some of these muscle planes here. So keep your scissors turned up so you can see the belly and the point. Very good. And let's see if we can do a snip, snip. Okay. Carry on. Very good. Keep going. You see this bit here? Cut that. Marvelous. Very good. And there we've got a bit of tissue there. Do you want to cut that? Marvelous. Good. And I'm coming down here. Cut that tissue. Is there a vessel in that? I can put my forceps behind it and have a look. And I can say no. Do you want to cut that, please, Alistair? Very good. Here we go. And let's cut that. You hold that bit of tissue there and cut that. Marvelous. So the point is, as the surgeon standing opposite, knowing the principles of dissection, I can assist a new surgeon and help them operate and make it easy for them. And this is where the concept good surgeons make good assistants and vice versa. And certainly for training surgeons, it is useful to have a very experienced surgeon standing opposite who knows how to use the tools. All right, do you want to cut those? Cut those there. And can direct and orchestrate from the side. I suppose, cut there, you could call this robotic surgery in some respects, because we've actually got much better than artificial intelligence in the beginner surgeon standing opposite, somebody who's extremely capable and talented, who's not actually done surgery before, but is a lot more responsive than a robot to direction. And with encouragement and positive reinforcement, you can see how the skills will develop. And I'm not having to actually tell Alistair where to dissect. My forceps are directing him. And Alistair's already picking up the invisible signals of what to cut and what not to cut as I'm actually showing this. And that one as well. And let's take that one out there. Okay, cut that. Marvelous. And now we're starting to fillet this chicken and down there. So what I'm trying to demonstrate is that a good assistant who's actually helping the surgeon, let's move around that way a bit, helping the surgeon, I'm always standing opposite, and we're going to come down. Let's try this plane. Let's try it in there. We can cut that. You hold that. Okay. Very good. And I take that. You can cut through there. And again, I can direct and orchestrate the dissection for a new surgeon. So another good training technique, get the big blade back again now, the 22 blade, this one. I want to see if you can actually take the skin off the salmon, all right? So you're going to hold the salmon down, and I'm going to hold the skin, and you can use a combination of the knife and scissors to see if you can get the salmon and the skin separated.
Should I be using scissors or forceps?
Whatever you feel appropriate now. You use your forceps and combination of scissors and the knife, all right? So use the knife initially and develop that plane there. Very good. Keep going. Hold the salmon, all right? And see if you can stroke the blade against the skin rather than the pink of the flesh. Okay, turn the blade so it's okay, keep going. There you go. And we're working on a broad surface. Try not to cut the salmon and go up against the skin. Well done. Good. Keep going. Now if you actually don't cut into there, but use your blade as a brush and brush the blade against the skin, the other way round. Okay. Yeah, there you go. You can brush it, and now you can brush. Hold it down. Very good. Now, what I suggest you do, may I show you, is actually you hold the blade so it's against the skin and brush it that way like that. All right. Okay, I'm going to pass it back to you. Good. Okay. And this way. Okay. It's not a technique that comes naturally, and we have described it in our knife tech seminars today, but you can see that as the assistant I am following the dissection all the time and trying to maintain the tension to enable you to. So if you just hold that for a moment now, I'm going to just take the knife a second. What I'm going to do is just, what I want you to do, hold that, okay, is literally brush the knife against there like that. See like that? Can you try and do that? Okay. Keep going. Well done. Keep brushing so your blade is, you do exactly that, but your blade's touching the bottom. Brush, not up, across. Yes. Good. And let's keep going down the side. And all the time, as an assistant, I am holding and following the surgeon. You can go closer to the salmon, the pink flesh, and go across, not up, go across the surface. That's it, across the surface. Broad stroke across, from your left to your right, your left to your right, left to right. That's it, left to right. Now I think for somebody who's never used a knife or done dissection before, to actually get that amount of salmon off is actually very nice and very good. So the last model we're going to use this evening is one of my favourite, is a sausage. And I'm going to use the sausage because the skin of the sausage is extremely thin. Use your scissors now, huh? Scissors and the forceps. Just put them on the table. And I want you to just make, first of all, with a 15 blade, the 15 blade, just make a little slice within the skin itself as you were dissecting, not all the way through, just let the blade work through it. Okay, that's it, marvellous. Now, let's see if you can, with a pair of scissors, I'm holding this fine skin, and you see if you can dissect that off. So you hold it down that side, I'm holding it here. There you go. Down this way. You do that, that's it. All the way down, keep going down to your right hand side. Okay, let's keep going round. Okay, there you go. And you want to start cutting along there now. And come along with her. Let's get this top bit off. This side. You can stroke it with your scissors. Alright, and now I'm going to hold that And would you like to cut along there, please? And all the way. There you go. And you can see how thin that is. The skin of the sausage is very thin, and it's a useful model to use for the surgeon and the assistant, because if you're rough, the skin tears extremely easily. And the important thing is that we need to work in harmony and work with each other throughout our dissection and throughout the movement. So we'll come back this side. So
They can't see that.
we are working in harmony. The operative field is in the middle here. My hands are on the outside and the surgeon is working on the inside. And as the surgeon moves, even as somebody who's never operated before, as an experienced surgeon, I am using my assisting skills with my forceps and with my scissors to assist the dissection and move the operation along. This is important for all beginning surgeons, to have an expert surgeon standing opposite, using their knowledge, using the instruments, and enabling and enhancing the skills of the beginner surgeon. It builds confidence. What do you think of that?
Yeah, rather difficult for the first time.
But you did pretty good, didn't you? Yeah? You've never done it before. Do you want to do surgery, Alistair?
No.
So Alistair is determined not to do surgery, which is fine. He wants to become a marine biologist, which is fantastic. But I hope that this has highlighted the principles. And I'd like you to join me in thanking Alistair for being an excellent assistant surgeon this evening, and I was assisting. So they're very simple principles to use. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a holiday and we're going to come back live on the 5th of January. So we're not going to be live next week or over the festive season. We'll be back live on the 5th of January. I'll be putting out a lot of posts in the meantime and pictures, and I have a questionnaire that I would like you to answer as well. I'll be grateful if you could answer the questionnaire in URL that I'll send out. Thank you very much indeed for your following. Thank you very much indeed for the likes and the pictures. And I'm really excited that Dr. Kunal Sunri in Gujarat in India is going to be joining as a sensei. We have a fantastic opportunity to change the way people think about learning surgical skills. And why I base it on martial arts is, as Alistair, as you see, is now third dan, I'm training for third dan. It's a journey. Mastery is something that we should be looking at every day. And when we're in karate, we come away from the dojo thinking, didn't quite get that today. Didn't quite get the reverse movement. But that is what a growth mindset is all about, and why practicing makes perfect. And we don't practice till we get it right. We practice until we can't get it wrong. Remember also that it's not speed. I do not teach speed at all. I teach technique and I teach movement, because the whole thing is the way we set up and hold our instruments. And if we actually set up and hold our instruments properly and understand how we're standing properly, how we have isolated the intrinsic muscles of the hand by standing like a puppet, how the lumbricals bring the palps of the fingers and the Merkel cells and the Meissner corpuscles are maximised. The lightness of touch is there, and by focusing on the setup, you will develop a flow and a rhythm. And that's what good surgery is. There's no speed, it's a simple flow and a rhythm. And on that, we're going to say, all right, Ray, we wish you well, be safe, and I look forward to seeing you on the 5th of January. Thank you.